have been find the common denominator of 3x. Everybody agree? And you'd multiply. So this side would need a 3. This side would need an x. And you would simplify. So let's do this. I'm going to do it for you real quick. I would multiply this one on the left by 3. And that would give me 6 plus, hope if I could draw a 6. Over here on the right, I need an x. So I would multiply 1 times x. And I would put that all over 3x. Everybody agree with that? That's what we've been doing. Yes? Now look here with an equal sign, we're solving for x. The nice thing with an equal sign is we get to multiply by the least common denominator again. And in this case of x, 3, and 6, wouldn't it be 6x? And the denominators are going to go away. Watch. What's 6x over x? 6 times 2 is 12. Plus, what's 6x over 3? 2x times 1, 2x. Equals, what's 6x over 6? X times 5 is 5x. And now we're just going to solve for x. We're going to subtract 2x from both sides and have 12 equals, what, 3x? We're going to divide by 3, and x equals 4. Now, the one thing you need to be careful of is, go back to the beginning of the equation. What could x not be equal to? 0. Why? Because it would give me a what? Give me an undefined situation, right? So x could not be equal to 0. We're okay. X isn't equal to 0. It's x equals 4, so we're good to go. Okay, so we're solving rational equations. And here's our steps to solve them. And you always want to check for extraneous solutions like I just did. So let's get started here. But before we solve it, real quick, let's just say out loud, what could x not be equal to? X couldn't be what? 0 and 2/3. Everybody agree with that? Now, my recommendation here is I actually would subtract 5x. And you go, Mr. Dice, that's not multiplying by the least common denominator. And I'm going, yeah, I know that, but I want it like this, because if I have a fraction equal to a fraction, I think there's an easier way to solve this one other than multiplying by the LCD. What should I do here then? Cross multiply. I just think that's easier to do. I'm going to go this direction first, from the bottom left to the upper right. So I'm going to multiply by -5, which would give me negative, what, 15x plus 10 equals x. And then I'm going to add 15x, so then I get 10 equals what, 16x? Divide by 16 and simplify it. X equals, I can take a 2 out, so it'll be what, 5/8? Anybody else get 5/8? Okay. So that to me, doing the cross multiplying here made more sense than multiplying by the LCD. But in this example, and this is a pretty easy one. In this example, I can't get a I can't get a fraction equal to a fraction. So let's make this real easy. Let's multiply by the least common denominator, which would be what, guys? 8. So if I multiply everything by 8, that would give me x squared minus 32 equals 4x. What do I do from here? Michael, what should I do from here, bud? I agree. Subtract 4x. So now I have x squared minus 4x minus 32 equals 0. We're going to look and see if it factors. Anybody have it factored already? Thomas?
X minus 8 times x plus 4.
Nice. I agree. I agree. So x equals 8 and -4. Everybody agree with that? And look, both of those are okay because we didn't even have a variable in the denominator. They both work, guys. They both work. Okay? All right. So again, I can't get Right now I can't get a fraction equals a fraction, so I'm going to multiply by the least common denominator. Ms. Hayden, what is that LCD in this example? What's the LCD of x plus 3, x, and 4x? Well, I'm not going to accept I don't know. You're pretty smart. You can make it pretty good. Even if it's wrong, I have a feeling your guess will be a pretty good guess.
Would it be 4x times x plus 3?
So you guessed it perfect, so you actually do know. It would be 4x times x plus 3. I agree with that. Everybody comfortable with that? So here we go. Let's multiply everything by it. So the x plus 3's would cancel. It would be 4x times 1, which is 4x, equals, here the x's would cancel. So it would be 2 times 4 times x plus 3, which would be what? 8 times x plus 3. I'll distribute through here in a second, okay? Minus, and then the 4x's cancel. So it'll be negative 3 times x plus 3. Everybody comfortable with that? Be careful with that negative. You don't forget about it. And you're disciplined with how you distribute a negative through. So now I'm going to distribute through. I'm going to get 4x equals, what's that? 8x plus 24. And then minus 3x minus 9. Agree? So here on the right-hand side, I'm going to simplify. So 8x minus 3x would be 5x. 24 minus 9 would be what? Positive 15. And then 4x on the left. Everybody, am I doing it all right? So then subtract 5x and have negative x equals 15. So therefore, x equals negative 15. Go back to the beginning of the problem. What could x not have been? 0 or negative 3. We're okay. Questions? You okay? All right. Again, I went to the wrong problem, didn't I? Is this it? Next one. Again, I can't get a fraction equal to a fraction. So, without giving a common denominator here, how about I put this over 1? Ideas? What should I do? Mr. Lyon, what should I do? Which is?
X minus 5.
Yeah, this is going to work out really quick. Look, we get these x minus 5 here cancel, so I'm left with 5 equals x minus. Now, this is where you got to be disciplined. It's minus, look up here on the screen, x minus 5, guys. You got to distribute that negative through. So when you distribute, it becomes negative x plus 5. Everybody agree with that? X's cancel. Does 5 equal 5? Who knows the answer? Who feels really good about the answer? Nobody in here feels good about the answer? Thomas? No. Kaylee?
All real numbers except 5.
All real numbers except, what could x not have been, guys? 5. Okay, that was pretty technical, but it's true. So you could write that all real numbers except 5. If you wanted to put it in interval notation, it would be what? Negative infinity to 5 exclusively, and then from 5 to infinity. But I could also accept all real numbers except x cannot be equal to 5. That's both those work for me. Cool? Kyle, don't ask me which one you can write it as. You can write it however you can make me understand what it means. Is that what you're going to ask me?
Yes.
Amazing. How did I know that? Okay. What do I need to do here? What do I need to do? Guilfoyle, what do I need to do first?
See if you can, well, you can, but, what's it called?
F word?
Factor.
Factor? Okay, yeah, we're gonna. Hey, I get. You know what? I'm gonna show you all kinds of great. I get it. We've been on break for a week, right? We're gonna factor. I won't even ask you to factor. It could get bad. So x minus 3, x plus 1, right? Okay. So Mr. Peters, what am I going to multiply everything by?
X plus 1.
That's it? The LCD of everything, the common denominator is both of these. So you're going to multiply everything by what, Anthony?
X minus 3 and X plus 1.
That's right. X plus 3. Or excuse me, I said that wrong. X minus 3 and x plus 1. Everybody agree with that? Okay. So let's go ahead and multiply through. X minus 3 times x plus 1 over x minus 3. That's going to give me x plus 1 times x plus 1. Let's write that as x plus 1 quantity squared. Equals 4 times both of them. And hey, can I just go ahead and say what was both of them? The pre-factored was x squared minus 2x minus 3. Everybody stop for a moment. Don't just write. Everybody understand where this came from. It was 4 times these two, which was this before we did the F word. Okay? Minus 12. That's it, right? On the last part? Okay, so that binomial squared gives me what, Mr. Hodges?
X squared plus 2x plus 1.
Good. And then we can distribute that 4 through 4x squared minus 8x minus 12 minus 12. Okay, let's get everything over here on the right. What's that become then? When I set 0 equal to, I'm going to subtract Sheila. What do I get? So 0 equals, what's that become? 3x squared, agree. Minus 10x, agree. Minus what? So that's negative 24, agree? Subtract 1. Minus 25, very good. And let's see if that will factor. Anybody have it? Oh, it's easy. What do we get? 3x. Allison?
Plus 5, x minus 1.
Agree, because that would give me negative 15 plus 5 would be negative 10. So x is equal to, let's hear what are our two. X is equal to what?
5 and negative 5 thirds.
Negative 5/3. Don't say it like you're not sure. Now I got a question. Are those okay? Yeah, x could not have been 3 or negative 1. We're good to go. We're good to go. Everybody doing okay? Not bad, is it? Okay. Everybody try this one on their own. Go. So these two binomials, what? Multiply into x squared plus 4x plus 3. My recommendation here, if you're up at this point, is I would multiply the two binomials and then multiply it by 2. I just think it's easier that way. So they become what? 2x squared. And then in my head I go, okay, negative positive 3x minus that negative positive 2x times 2 positive 4x. And then negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Did I do that right? And then I know x plus 1 times x minus 1 is x squared minus 1, so it becomes negative x squared plus 1. Did you do plus 1? Because that's x squared minus 1. Then you distribute the negative through. But look right here, that's important. Look what happens. The x squareds completely go away, don't they? Don't the x squareds go away? And then I have 4x. The x's go away. I have 3 equals, is it negative 5? Is that true? No solution. All that work for that. It's almost kind of like not fulfilling, right? Thoughts? Solve for A. What would we do to solve for A? A's in the denominator. Shirley, what should I do? What is the least common denominator, hon? Yep, multiplied by ABC. So that would give me BC minus AC equals AB. Then what? What do I do from here? Ms. Netter, what should I do for here? I'm solving for A. So you got multiple places there's A. Yeah, but well, what you could, you're going to factor. You don't want to factor out the C here. What you want to do is you want to move the A's all over together on the same side. So add AC. So let me do that, then you're going to see it. So if I add AC, it becomes AC plus AB. And then factor out what, Maya? Factor out the A. So now I have BC equals A times C plus B. And then to solve for A, wouldn't I divide by C plus B? And that's A. A equals BC over C plus B. Good early refresher, right? And now, let's do some story problems dealing with rational equations. It's not bad. It's pretty easy. Mark can clean the animal cages at the animal shelter where he volunteers in 4 hours. Bill can do it in 5 hours. If they work together, how long would it take them to clean the cages? How long would it take them to clean the cages if they work together? Now, here's what you got to do. The job's the job. The job is clean cages. Everybody with me? Now, we're going to do the rate that they can clean it. The job. The rate. You all with me? Mark can do it, the job, the one job in 4 hours. If he worked together with Bill, can do the job in 5 hours. If they did it together, how long would it take them to do the job in how many hours? See the thought process in doing that? I wish I wouldn't have wrote so big. Now we're going to multiply by the least. I looked up on the screen. It looked pretty good on my iPad. And I look up and I'm like, I'm out of work. I'm out of room to do my work. So we're going to multiply by the LCD, which is 20x, right? So let's see if I can make it fit now. We're going to get 5x plus 4x equals 20. 9x equals 20. X equals 29. Can you everybody get your calculators, please? Divide that through for me. That's going to be what, 2 point something hours. Let's go 3 decimal places. 2 point. Ms. Heron?
2.222. So just 2.22.
3 decimal places.
It's all twos. So
Let me see your calculator. I thought I heard an 8 in there. Did you say 8? Okay, 2.22 hours. And you do not have to convert 0.22 hours into minutes. Cool? Cool? All right, let's do another one. So now, working together, the 2 secretaries can stuff the envelopes for a political fundraising in 4 hours. Working alone, it takes the slower hours 6 hours longer. It takes the slower worker 6 hours longer to do the job than the faster worker. How long does it take each to do the job alone? So we have an unknown. Let's say X is the number of hours. Let's do the slower worker, okay? Let's do slower worker, which is significantly slower. 6 number of hours for a slower worker. Okay. How long does it take them to do the job altogether? 4 hours. So that's on the right-hand side. That's the whole job. They can do it together in 4 hours. It takes the faster... Okay. Takes this. I wish I would have chose slower worker, but I'll stick with it. Takes the slower worker X hours. Plus, what's it take the faster worker?
X minus.
Yeah, I should have done X as the faster, right? And then I could have, oh no. All right. And then I could have done X. Oh my goodness. It's all gone. I'm starting over now. Watch this. X is the number of hours faster. That's what I put all along, right? And then it's 1 over X plus 1 over slower worker takes 6 hours longer. X plus 6 equals 1 over 4. This slower worker needs to be fired. Takes somebody 6 hours longer to do the job than the faster. Like, they just need to be fired. They must be a family member or something. They got the job. All right. So what are we going to multiply by, guys? What's the LCD? 4x times x plus 6. Everybody agree? All right. You guys solve it. Go. Did I do it right? No, I messed up? Answer the question. It would be, how long does it take each to do the job alone? Well, it takes the faster worker 6 hours. It takes the slower worker 12 hours. Fire them. You don't need them. And together they could do it in 4 hours because the faster worker is doing all the work. Cool? All right, then, I figured you guys just love these so much, so let's do them. 2 trains made the same 315-mile run. Since one train traveled 10 miles per hour faster than the other, it arrived 2 hours earlier. Find the speed of each train. Okay, here we go. Let's write this down. Distance equals rate times time. Agree? Let's rewrite it in terms of time. Time is distance over rate. Everybody cool? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up and make the times equivalent to each other or not. So our unknown is X is the speed. You want to do the faster train or the slower train? Let's do X is the speed of slower. Speed of slower. Okay? Let's do slower train. The slower train traveled 315 miles in X hours. Or in X miles per hour. Agree? That's the time. The time of the slower train is 350 because I do distance over rate. Everybody cool? How is that equivalent? What's the faster train? 315 miles in, what would I put for its rate? Say it louder. What's its rate? If X is the speed of the slower train, the faster train's going 10 miles per hour faster. What's its rate? X minus 10 or X plus 10? X plus 10. It's going faster. Okay, now, everybody look up here. There's the part you got to think now. Ready? This is time equal to time, but they're not equal. The slower train took 2 hours longer, or the faster train got there 2 hours earlier. Okay? Now, everybody look over here. This is slower. Yes? This is faster. Yes? Which time is a bigger number? Slower or faster? Let me say it again. Which time would be a larger number? The slower, right? How much bigger is this number? 2 hours. So what can I do to this to make it equal to this? I heard both answers, and I heard right and wrong. Let me say it again. Ready? This is time. This is time. This is time of what? Slower or faster? Slower. This is faster. Isn't faster trains time a smaller number because it took less time? How much smaller is it? 2 hours smaller. If I added 2 to the smaller time, isn't it equal to the larger time? I also, guys, look up here. Were any of you thinking take this and go minus 2? It's the same thing. Now look, this is just like what we've been doing. You're going to multiply by the least common denominator, which is x times x plus 10. So you're going to go x times x plus 10. Just like that. And now you're going to solve. I'm going to hit pause, and I'm going to let... Nobody in here has x yet? Solve. Okay, I'll wait. Say it letter x plus 45, x minus 35. Is that right?
I got x squared minus 10x minus 15.
What did I mess up out?
I'm not sure. I got what you got. I got what you found.
I like what I have. It should be 2x squared, right? Plus 20x minus 3,150. Yeah, I like what I have. And then I divide by 2, and that should be x plus, is 45 times 35, 1,575. So then x is going to give me negative 45. Can't have it. Can't have a negative rate. So x equals 35. So what's that mean? The slower train was traveling 35 miles per hour. The faster train was traveling 45 miles per hour. Agree? Okay, let's do another one. Setting it up. All right. Stephen takes 1.5 times as long to go 72 miles upstream as he does to return, which means going downstream. If the boat cruises at 30 miles per hour in still water, what is the speed of the current? Okay? What is the speed of the current? So x is the speed of the current. So this is what I want you all to do again. Distance equals rate times time. Time equals distance over rate. Let's do upstream and downstream. Wouldn't upstream be 72 miles? And isn't this current hurting him going upstream? So the rate of the boat is 30 minus x, which is the rate of the current. Agree? How is this time equal to 72 miles downstream, where it would be the rate of the boat plus the current? It's helping him. Now, look up here. These times are not equivalent. It took him 1.5 times as long to go upstream. This is a bigger number. How much bigger? 1.5 times bigger. Why not multiply this side by 1.5 to have them equal to each other? And instead of 1.5, I'm going to think of it as 3 halves. Isn't that 1.5? Can you follow me on that thought process? And now you just take 72 times 3 halves. Half of 72 is what? 36 times 3 is what? Is that 108? I did that in my head. Is that right? Hold me accountable. What's 36 times 3? 108, we're good? So now I have 72 over 30 minus x equals 108 over 30 plus x. How should I solve this one? Cross multiply, guys. Cross multiply. So let's take 72 times 30 plus x. I'm going to need some help here. So what's 72 times 30?
2,160.
Plus 72x equals 108 times 30 would be,
3,240.
thank you, minus 108x. So I get 180x equals, what's 3,240 minus 2,160? 1,000.
180. Well, that works out nice. What's x?
What is it?
6. Now let's answer the question. What is the speed of the current? Done. 6 miles per hour. Cool. So I've given you 2 problems to reference back to when it's setting the times equal to times. That's the part. That's the key. That's the key. All right. There's your homework. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Nice work. I know that